Hey, what's happening, Patreon? Jason here. So I'm getting ready to get picked up from my quarantine. So here's what happened. Here's the behind the scenes stuff that's not going to be on Facebook or anywhere. So I played up in Plattsburgh and New York, and I started feeling a little sick, like maybe the day before that. And then that day I was starting to suspect that I was actually sick. And then, because sometimes it's hard to tell out here with like the lack of sleep. And because a lot of times we get done at like 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes later. Lately it's been earlier, but still we don't get to bed until like midnight or 1 or later than that. And then we got to get up really early because the sound checks are getting earlier and earlier, like sometimes 1 o'clock. And we have like an 8-hour drive. So if it's like an 8-hour drive to the next gig, we got to leave at like 6 in the morning to make it there by sound check. So we're only sleeping like 4 or 5 hours a night and then trying to get rest in the van. And then sometimes one of us will drive and you get like some coffee in you and then you don't feel like sleeping. And then next thing you know, you're wearing your body out. That happens a lot. So I wasn't sure if it was just exhaustion or if I was really getting sick. but I was really getting sick. So the gig in Plattsburgh was run by this woman named Laura Carbone, who is a blues photographer. And she writes, I'm just checking to see if the band's going to get here. And she writes articles for Big City Blues magazine. So this is her cabin that I'm staying in right now. So what happened was I woke up in the morning and I said, "Hey, I'm definitely sick," because I had told her the night before that I thought I might be getting sick, and she's like, "Oh, well, we better give you a COVID test." So you guys know how it is with COVID. The rest of the world, I mean, outside of the United States, is kind of already accepted that COVID has died down in its severity. The strains are not as dangerous as they were before, and it's usually less severe than a normal cold or the flu or certainly pneumonia. But there's a stigma around it still, especially with certain, it's a political thing at this point. So her being a doctor and her being connected to the blues world, I really didn't have much choice other than to cancel the gigs. So I had to cancel 2 gigs and then one of them got rescheduled. And then she offered to bring me all the way out here to this beautiful cabin that I've been in and that I made the scary movie, and all that stuff. And let me quarantine away from the band so I didn't get the band sick. So I probably wouldn't have canceled the shows if I hadn't tested positive for COVID. But honestly, it was the right thing to do. I mean, I just don't want to get the band sick. It really hurt me to cancel Rangeley. That's where Perkins died last time we were going back to the gig. And I don't know if Perkins maybe didn't want us to come back or something, but I kind of wanted to go back. And I was excited about it, not excited, but it was going to be like a Perkins tribute. And, I don't know. She was really great about it. She even sent us money, when really we should have been sending her money. So the band's still going to get paid for the time off. And I've been quarantining in this cabin for the last 3 or 4 days. And their band is coming now to pick me up. Tomorrow I fly to Florida to play the DeSoto Tiger gig in Weirsville, Florida. And then am immediately flying back here, getting picked up, and then playing Jimmy's in New Hampshire, and then continuing the rest of this New England tour. So that's what that is. And that's what I've been doing. Anyway, I thought I would do some cool stuff for you guys right now before I get picked up and kind of show you, something I don't think I've done in a while, right? Which is show you guys the harmonicas, my harmonicas in my case and stuff. If you haven't seen, I haven't done this in a while. It's probably mostly the same harmonicas, but let's take a look. Okay, so here's the case right here. So if you've never seen this before, it's an old Hetrick case, right? See, you can see where it says Hetrick. This case custom made for Jason Ritchie, right? But there was a lot that looked just like this. And my buddy Wally is the one who ordered this for me. But it fell apart like really quick, like at the seams and stuff. I mean, I'm hard on things on the road. This Oldsmobile thing I found when I was skateboarding. And then what happened was Kate took all these cigar bands that I save and just started resining them on. And that increased the strength of this case by a ton. You have no idea. This thing is really, really heavy. Like, I can barely lift it with one hand like that. Right? It's really, really heavy and really strong. It's like almost completely indestructible. Then I took velvet that I got off of Amazon and stuck it in here and then put that around this. These are plexiglass things right there. This is my little pick I always keep, my little dental pick. And let's take a look at the harps. So right here is a G crossover with a Tom Helchek comb, regular marine band cover plates. Pretty cool. And then here is one of the Jason Ritchie signature harps. There's a new one of these is going to come out this year, I hope, with new designs so that, each one will have its own design. It's really nice. Phenolic resin comb. I love the white and black simplicity. And it also has the vented marine band cover plates. I usually just write on my harmonicas with a paint pen and then put a little nail polish over it. Sometimes I have stickers that I use, like that one, right? Anyway, and then this is my oldest harmonica from Joe Spires. Oops, got a little something on it. And a hair. Excuse me. It's going to take me forever to go through these. Anyway, this one's kind of dark. It's got a snake in the 515, A flat. It sounds great still. It's got a Tim Lavoie comb. Sometimes I have to warm them up a little. All right. Anyway, then there's a Tom A flat. These need to be cleaned with some rubbing alcohol. My basic harp is like rocket amp cover plates on a marine band crossover with the brace. That's what Tom does for me with a custom comb and then a little bit of reed work. This one's an A. This one's from Joel Anderson. I love this. I've had it forever. It originally came with beautiful wooden cover plates. It said Mooncat and even had a cat with a moon behind it. But I just didn't really like playing with wood cover plates. I liked the way it sounded, but I didn't like the way it felt. And then here's another one. I think I made this one myself. And then this is a B flat I made myself with one of Tom's new combs right here. Shucks, I forget the name. Tom, help me out if you're watching. I'm so sorry I forgot the name of this comb. All right, there's that. I'm really in desperate need of B flats. These are all years old, and they're just hanging on by dear life. I'm like tuning them like every other night. This one's got the regular marine band cover plates right there. These are just this is a deluxe, barely hanging on. Same with C's. They're working, but they're starting to decline. They've had years on them. I keep a lot of doubles and triples and quadruples, as you can see, of the main keys that I use. Really, the main key that I play in most of the time is I play on B flats and C's most of the night. And then sometimes I play on A's and G's. Sometimes I play on D's. Here's a cool C sharp. I don't know why Hohner or harmonica companies call them D flat. C sharp is the better name for that. Here's a beautiful low D from Tom. This one really, really plays great. And there's a low F sharp here too from Tom. That's really cool. It needs a brace bad though. Look at that. Yeah, I got to get a brace in that sucker. Another D right here. A little rocket amp with a pretty wood comb. I like that. It's actually phenolic resin. It just looks like wood. That's my favorite comb from Tom. Almost all of these are phenolic resin combs from Tom. Some of them are Corian, like that one right there. It's a little lighter. I'm in desperate need of an E flat. But these are all three of these. This one's completely out of tune. This one needs a reed replaced. The reed actually has broken inside of it. I'm just barely hanging on. This is an E that I made a while ago. It's okay. It needs a little work. It never really wanted to cooperate. F harmonicas last forever. I play them a lot too, and they never go out of tune. I don't know what it is about them. But this is a nice one with the Corian comb. And then here's a cool low E flat. And so, like, if they're lower, I'll use the regular marine band plates. Like, I kind of like, like right around, like, A flat, G, low F, low E flat, low E. I'll use all vented because they're louder. And then right around A, B flat, I'll start using the Special 20 non-vented or cover plates. And yeah, it was a really nice low F from Richard Slay. It's beautiful. So I play this on Terrors of Nightlife a lot. The comb is gorgeous. I think it's from Todd Parrott. I gotta sneeze. Achoo! 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 I always sneeze in threes. Sneeze in threes. All right, so I keep my batteries for my wireless right in here. And I always keep this cleaning rag that I got. It's for trumpets, and it's got cats on it. Some of you have heard the story of this. I waited for months for it. Oh, just made a liar out of myself. There was 4. All right. But yeah, I ordered it from Japan. It took forever. I completely forgot that I ordered it, and it was expensive too. And then one day, like 6 months later, I was like, man, whatever happened to that rag? And I went online to look at the email to see the tracking number, and it said it had been delivered, and I opened the door, and there it was. It had just arrived that day. That was years ago. I've had it like 5 years, and I just wash it and keep it clean. I try to spray my harmonicas down with 91% alcohol every single night after I'm done playing them, or at least before. So anyway, here's a little look at the case. That's DeQuayo. That was my buddy Nick Curran's band. Right there. Someday I'll give you guys a humidor tour, but I just worried it would be boring. There's some rare cigars bands here, like that pumpkin right there is rare. And then, I don't know, a couple others. They're pretty cool. Right? It's a little mummy fox smoking. That's from the Cicerone. Oh, man, I am still sick. So, yeah, I wish I could really use a couple more days out here. I really could. I have not minded the solitude, being alone at all. It hasn't bothered me a bit. I spend so much time around people, around lots of people in close quarters. And, of course, my wife, we live together. We sleep together, we eat together, we play music together, we travel together, and she doesn't need space like I do. So I I've really, really enjoyed being out here, you know, out in the wilderness. You know, let's take a look. I haven't even really been outside yet. I'm going to show you this, what it's like out here. Oof, that was loud. Way, way out here. I was told it's like 40 miles to the nearest neighbor. I'm going to track mud in the house. But yeah, this is where I've been staying this whole time. And it's a beautiful cabin. And the band should be here soon to get me. I'll go back to Plattsburgh for the night, and then I'll stay and then leave early in the morning to go to join DeSoto Tiger. Look at that. Hey. Yeah, it was great staying up here. I really enjoyed it. I really did. Really, really liked it. So what else has been going on? Hold on, let me tend to this nose thing here. Here, I'll give you guys a good view of nothing. I'm probably not contagious. I certainly hope not. I'll be masking up around everybody as soon as they get here. I'll put the mask on. So, what's been going on? Well, when I get sick, I get stressed. I get worried. I get worried about money, about losing money. I get worried about, of course, about getting other people sick. I worry about my performances. Will they be good? You know, sometimes people post videos or I post videos of the shows, and sometimes people write really, really nice things. And sometimes people don't write really nice things. They write really kind of like mean things or dismissive things. And that's normal. And usually the more traction the video gets, the more times it's watched, the more chance you have of having some people saying they don't like it. A lot of times, if there's a bunch of nice comments, people are afraid to write one bad thing because they're outnumbered. And then then once one person chimes in with something bad, then everybody jumps on. So if you guys are ever worried about anything like that, when like posting your own videos, just know that everybody goes through it. You know, like it does get easier. I try to write nice things back sometimes, or sometimes I'll try to set them straight. Not often, you know, very rarely. Like there was a hip shake video. I wrote back to the guy and I was like, hey, you know, he was like too many notes, or it's all technique and no soul or whatever. And I was like, you know, it's just one song, man. It's like, that's not how I play constantly. You know, I was just trying to tell him that, but, you know, it's usually a waste of time, you know, responding to people that write bad things. If you do respond, try writing something unbelievably nice. Like, thank you so much for watching. I hope that your day is beautiful. It's like, you're not even that. Like, sit on it for a minute. Don't respond right away. The nicer you are, right? Like, the man, most of the time if I write something really truly nice, like sometimes I'll go to their profile and check them out, and then I'll find something like that they did that I genuinely like, even if it's just them with their cat or their dog, or if it's them playing, and I'll leave a really nice comment under theirs. And you know what they do? They delete the one that they left on mine, right? So it's like, man, this is like spiritual warfare, bro. You know, it's just positivity constantly, you know. So anyway, I kind of welcome that kind of stuff as a challenge to see like how well can I handle it. And the cool thing about the internet is once you learn that you don't have to write back right away, right? You can sit there and rest and really consider, like, let your body like adjust to it. Like one of the reasons that when I'm making these vlogs, sometimes like I'm like, hey, I got a vlog coming for you. I'm just not done processing. Like I'm not ready to make the video to tell because I haven't been through it yet. You know, am I ready today? I don't know. What I know is I have time where I got everything done. I gotta get the laundry out of the machine, and you know, the band's coming, and I got time. That's what I know, and I rarely have time. That's the thing. So have I processed everything? No, but when things get stressful, when I'm reading those negative comments, when I'm sick, when I'm worried that me being sick is going to cause some more comments, people talking about my weight, you know, from the past. Oh, he's too skinny, he's on drugs. Oh, now look at Jason, he's too fat. One guy wrote under a Driftin' and Driftin' video, he wrote, drifting all the way to the refrigerator. Man, it's like, come on, bro. Like, man, like, you know, I'm a person, bro. Like, I know that, you know, it's a video on YouTube and you think it's funny, but, man, people read that stuff, man. You know, the thing is, too, is that anybody that's writing that stuff is hurting. They're really hurting inside. Like, I mean, I can't imagine writing that on anybody's video. Like, I wouldn't write anything like that on a Miley Cyrus video, or even if I thought that that person would never, ever see it, I would never write that. Because I don't like the way it makes me feel, right? Like, when I'm mean to somebody, and it happens, like, sometimes I get mean, you know. Afterwards, I just feel terrible about myself. Like, I don't like, it hurts me, I would say, as much or more maybe than the person that did it. So try to remember that too. When people are writing nasty stuff, even if you don't think they're hurting and they don't even know they're hurting, they are hurting, because that's just not a natural response, right, out of a human. It really isn't. You know, we might grow calloused and tough and hardened. Man, so like, you know, and that's been happening to me out here on the road a little bit. Not that I've grown hardened or calloused or that I've been being mean, but like, I become less spiritual sometimes over time if I don't continue to practice the things that keep me normal. And when I got sick and worried and stressed about the gigs, and like I said, reading some of the comments, I kind of retreated into some distractionism, you know, which for me is, you know, a lot of times just chatting on the internet or looking at videos and stuff that I probably shouldn't be looking at, or that I've tried to not look at. You know, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just stuff that I don't want to do. You know, there might even be scientific studies that say it's good for you, you know, eating too, you know, but like some stuff is definitely not good for me. Like if I eat emotionally, like what I'll do is I'll like be on a pretty good diet, and then something bad will happen to me and I get a case of the fuckets. That's what I call it, you know. and I'll, you know, order some McDonald's or something bad, and I'll order a lot of it, you know, and I'll eat it all at once in the middle of the night, you know, or some ice cream in the middle of the night, something like that. That's definitely not good for me. But, you know, other stuff like, you know, if I'm looking at naked pictures of people or something like that, so there might not be anything wrong with that. Like the science might even say that kind of stuff is good for you every once in a while, but like it's not the stuff, it's the motive behind it. That's the problem. The motive is escapism. Okay, that's what I'm trying to work on. And I fail a lot, like when things get stressful. And when I'm like worried about my health, and I'm worried about the band, and I'm worried about finances, and I'm worried about Free Friday, and I'm worried about Patreon, and I'm worried about the comments that people are leaving and stuff like that, right? I get stressed. And I, instead of going through that and sitting with that and growing and getting better and more resilient for next time, then I retreat into the McDonald's. Then I retreat into the porn. I retreat into that. And it's just not healthy for me anymore at this stage in my life. There was probably a time when it was okay, and that time has passed. And I'm now looking for something of a higher vibration. And that vibration may be, difficult and hard, and requires me sitting with me for a little while. And, I had an opportunity to do that out here at this cabin, and I don't think I really did that. I don't. I made the horror movie. I made a Free Friday, which is a pretty good one. I think it kind of might have been covered before, but it's still really important. I think before I did it like it was like an ascending thing, and this week is a descending. Maybe I did both. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes, guys, I do that. Like sometimes I'll repeat a subject, but it's okay to do that because sometimes subjects bear repeating. Anyway, whatever. I'm okay. I know what it is that I need to fix. Knowing that is not the same as doing it. The road is challenging for that. It's hard out here. The time schedules get messed up. It's full of high highs and low lows. Like I said, lack of sleep, lack of good food, and enormous amounts of adrenaline and endorphin rushes, likes and comments, and people telling you you're the greatest thing they've ever seen, other people saying that it's the worst thing they've ever seen, or something like it. Certainly that's what it feels like, and that's not a healthy way to live. It just isn't. It's not how normal people live. They don't do that, but it's getting more common, like on social media. Even people that aren't musicians or actors or whatever are starting to lust after that endorphins, that dopamine that comes with a bunch of likes and comments and stuff like that. And it's really not a whole lot different than applause on stage. It does the same thing to you. And it can become addictive. And sometimes, I'm just still watching for the van to come. Sometimes after a really good night, when everything should be okay, and I should be happy with my performance, happy with the band's performance, happy with the money that we made, the club made us money, everybody's getting paid, everybody's happy, you would think I would just go straight to bed. But a part of me wants to keep that going. And so sometimes then I will actually retreat into these other, vices. And I finally got to the point where, drugs and alcohol isn't even on the radar. I'm not even going to consider that anymore, right? It's not even going to pop into my head. It used to. I stayed sober one time for 12 years. And every day of that 12 years, I wanted to get high. And I just didn't. And, what I replaced it with was ambition, which isn't a negative thing, but it was for me because, again, it's not what it is. It's what's behind it. What was behind that ambition was I didn't feel like a good person. And so I thought if everybody loved me and record labels loved me and you guys were buying my records and if I was touring all over the world, had a great booking agency, a house and a good-looking partner, that I'd be happy. And that wasn't true. Now, so a lot of people here, not a lot, but a few of you, are atheists, and I respect that. The problem is, for me, that wouldn't work for me. Because I've tried everything in this world to bring me contentment. Oh, I see the van. I've tried, psychiatry, music. I've tried drugs and alcohol, the most powerful drugs and alcohol in the world. I've tried fame and fortune and houses and money and all of that stuff. And none of it worked. None of it did. The only time I've ever found true happiness is when I was helping somebody else. And that feeling came from somewhere else. I can't describe it. Anyway, I'm not alone anymore. There's the band. Woo! Here we go, here we go, here we go! K-Dib's not even looking at me. All right, whatever. Love you all, Patreon. See you later.